Hello everyone, my name is Fikriana Hanifa. Today I will be presenting on the topic of teaching English to young learners, covering in approaches, the skills we teach, fun activities like songs and games, and the real issues we face when teaching TEYL in Indonesia. Okay, let's get started. Here is what we will cover today. The first one is the principles of TEYL. The second is the approaches and methods used in TEYL. And the third is how to teach different language skills to young learners. And the fourth is teaching using games, songs, and stories. And the fifth is issues of TEYL in Indonesia. And finally, the short conclusion. Okay, let's begin with the principles of TEYL. The first one is implicit learning. Children observe language naturally through exposure and use, just like they learn their first language. And the second is contextual learning. A language should be taught within meaningful, real-life situations children can relate to. And the third is learner-centeredness. Lessons should be designed around children's needs, interests, abilities, and pace of development. And the fourth is meaningful learning. Activities should connect to real meaning and purpose. So a language sticks rather than being memorized blindly. Okay, now let's move on to approaches and methods. Okay, there are 5 key approaches relevant to young learners. The first one is behaviorism. Sees language as structured parts learned through repetition, modeling, and reward. This gave us the autolingual method. Multiple intelligence theory reminds us learners differ, so we should vary our activities. And Carson input hypothesis says input comes before output, and children need a silent period to observe language before speaking. And humanism reminds us young learners have real emotions and opinions that deserve respect. And constructivism, based on Piaget and Vygotsky, says learners construct their own understanding through social interaction. Okay, next, how we teach the 4 core language skills. For listening, we begin with easy listen and do activities. With teacher talk providing the language input, supported by language modification like repetition and comprehension checks. And for speaking, we start with formulaic language, greetings, routines, classroom language, and supported by gestures and pictures. We wait for children's responses and never pressure them to speak before they are ready. And for reading, we start with phonics but always focus on meaning first, using word recognition and visual aids to link spoken and written forms. And for writing, we begin with tracing, copying, or writing, though in parallel with reading, progressing to labeling and writing from memory. Okay, now one of my favorite parts, teaching English using games, songs, and stories. Storytelling exposes children to more language and new vocabulary. We choose stories with repeated language, clear characters, and a problem solution pattern, practicing listening, speaking, reading, and writing together. And songs help children remember words and patterns, adding rhythm and feeling. Songs like Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes also help practice pronunciation and stress through total physical response. And games provide a non-threatening environment for new learning. And games like Bingo or 10 Little Indian Boys build vocabulary, spelling, and counting while keeping children active and engaged. Okay, now the issues of TEYL in Indonesia based on recent research. The first one is policy and curriculum inconsistency. Shifting curricula from curriculum 2013 to curriculum Merdeka, with no unified national syllabus. And the second is teacher competency and training gaps, a serious lack of dedicated English teachers and a very little pre-service and or in service TEYL training. And the third is resources and infrastructure. A shortage of teaching media, costly commercial materials, and large class size in rural areas. And the fourth is learner center and psychological challenges. Children with no prior English exposure, fluctuating motivation, and speaking anxiety. And the fifth is instructional design and execution. Heavy reliance on rote learning, restrictive time allocation, and struggles with lesson planning and authentic assessment. Okay, and to conclude, effective TYL rests on four principles: implicit, contextual, learner centered, and meaningful learning. No single method fits every context. Today's teachers blend approaches into their own personal methodology. Each language skill needs age appropriate, low pressure techniques built on meaning. Games, songs, and stories make learning powerful when children are involved, learning, and active. And in Indonesia, policy, teacher training, resources, learner psychology, and instructional design remain key challenges to address. Okay, thank you very much for your attention and thank you for watching.